relate somewhat to that. So you mentioned Reiki. So tell me what does it do?
Reiki is a wonderful, wonderful energy healing modality. And I always liken it to chiropractic. Because if you've ever been to the chiropractor when your back is hurting you, or to a massage therapist when you're in pain, when they're finished with you, you feel energized because blood's going everywhere, and maybe places that weren't flowing before are now flowing, and maybe things that were pinched off are not pinched off anymore. And so neurologically and physically, it's the same thing, but it's with energy. So if your chakras are all open and aligned, you have that same kind of result. So Reiki is the alignment, the cleansing and alignment of your chakras.
What's a chakra?
A chakra is an energy point, and there's 8 of them that are most common, but in reality there are far more than that. I think it's 12, and I kind of work on all 12 because the 8 main ones are enough, but if you have 12, why not work on all 12?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I mean, you're there.
So how did you get interested in getting trained in that Reiki?
In Reiki?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, it's another way to help people. Sometimes we don't know what's bothering us. Sometimes we just limit ourselves because something is pinched off, closed off, held back, not recognized. And you know, when you are upset and how you hold things in, sometimes it affects your stomach, sometimes it affects your neck. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So Reiki opens that and releases that. Even sometimes you don't even know you're doing it. And when I test to see if your chakra is open and if it's not, for example, if your heart chakra is, that's a common one because what is the heart related to? Love.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how do you know if it's open?
I test them.
Is that a secret?
No, I test them with the pendulum.
Okay. Tell us about the pendulum.
The pendulum is a tester.
Are you being evasive with me or what?
No, I don't know if everybody does it like that, but the way that I was trained, and I do believe that it's as individual as the person performing the Reiki. Just like massage, Juliana, you would attest to that.
Yeah, it's individualized.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could go to the same school as Hilda, and Hilda's massage would be different than yours. Because you experiment, and if you listen to your body will tell you what you are best at. In healing, that is really true.
You develop talents in your hands for massage, and I'm sure that you develop talents and for Reiki in your senses.
And you find what you're best at.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about other people, but my Reiki involves a lot of talking. And especially if I find a chakra that's blocked, I'll ask a lot of questions on, have you been, like if your heart chakra is blocked, I'll ask, have you had heart problems? Well, no. Do you have, does it beat faster sometimes? Do you have chest pains? Well, no. Have you been hurt lately? Yes. So that's why that heart chakra is blocked, and the person isn't letting love in. And so then, but I find out because of the pendulum what's blocked. Very often in women, I would say 7 out of 10 times, it's their throat and heart chakras that are blocked. And go on.
Is it because they're not speaking the truth, or is it because they're not feeling the truth in their heart?
It's because they're holding something in that they need to say, and their heart has been broken. And that's why those two things go hand in hand. A lot of times it will be their crown chakra, which is on the top of their head. And if they get headaches very often, that's one of the things that how I know that your crown chakra is blocked besides the testing. And that could be that they've just closed themselves off. They're not open to new ideas. They're not growing. They're not reading. They don't allow themselves to experience new things, like go to an art museum or to a symphony or things like that. And we need that stuff. We need to get out of our norm. And so that's why crown chakra is
We were taught
block
that the
up.
crown chakra is the God chakra, and it helps you connect with God. And
Right.
gives you that kind of stuff, and that would make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And third eye chakra is you hold on to your own ideas and do not hear anybody else's. And a lot of times it's that you do not believe in anything greater than yourself. So you don't allow that to get in. That a lot of times that's that. And sometimes it's physiological. It's not always spiritual.
I can see why it's rewarding for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of been a healer. I've always known that I could do it. Mm-hmm. When I lived in California, and I went to this energy workshop one time in Berkeley, and they taught us to hold a ball of energy, and a lot of the people couldn't feel it. And this was a long time ago, and I felt it. I could feel it, and I could make it go, like heal my shoulder or heal. And I forgot that. I forgot about that. But I always wanted to do Reiki, and just the right teacher never came to me. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I made up my mind that I was going to do it one year, and poof, I met Cassie Paris. And she was the perfect teacher for me.
She's very good.
Yes.
She's very good
So,
in what she does.
Right. And I have become good friends with them because of that, because of Reiki. Yeah. So it's blessed me in many ways.
Yes. So moving on, we also have crystals in your store here.
Yes.
And does each crystal have a different meaning?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit?
One of the reasons I have crystals is because they go hand in hand with Reiki, and they're from the earth. They're not a pill. They're like essential oils in so many ways. The earth and food and essential oils can actually heal us.
Are we talking about vibrational healing?
Yes. And, a lot of times I think if I gave you a piece of selenite and I told you at night you were having trouble sleeping, and I told you at night before you go to bed to say a prayer and wave it over you and ask God to take away all the stresses of that day and allow a good sleep to come to you. And if you did that every night, and I told you this, if you do this every night, you will sleep like a baby. And if you trusted me and believed me, it would work.
It's believing then.
It's believing and allowing me to do my work and allowing that crystal to do what it's supposed to do. It's that same thing as a placebo. What you believe in will help you.
Yes.
I
believe that. Yeah.
And I believe Reiki is really a good thing. I've seen some real good things happen with Reiki. Dr. Julia Deere was having trouble with something. I can't remember what it was right now. And she asked me to do a Reiki treatment on her, and I did. And she called me that night and said, "Thank you. This has really worked." And it worked for several days. That's why Reiki sometimes isn't a one-time thing. Sometimes it's like 3 times in a row and then maybe once a month.
It's kind of like chiropractic.
It is. It is kind of like chiropractic.
So speaking of Dr. Julia, last week I was complaining about the itchies and rashy face all summer. And she did her thing with me and told me to stay away from these 4 foods, which was egg, coconut, chicken,
peanut butter.
And so I'm on day 7 now. The itchies are gone. The rash is gone. My eye isn't swelling up anymore. And my throat isn't as cloggy. I don't know if that's a word. It's in the dictionary.
It is now. Yeah.
It is now, yeah. So write that down, cloggy. That happens in
now.
the
See,
throat.
if you would have gone to and I want to get it clear that I'm not against doctors.
Me neither, but I've gone to the doctor, and they say, well, it's sinus drainage.
And they don't think of
but
these
not
other
all
things.
Summer long, it wasn't.
Right.
So.
Right. And, and I don't blame them. It's not what they learned in school. They don't know. And it's just like if a nutritionist that is, how do I want to say, that is trained the clinical way isn't going to treat you the same as I would from Dr. Weil's school.
Yeah.
It's
in Wile E. Coyote School.
Yeah, Dr. Andrew Weil. It's different, and it's based on what you were taught and what you experimented with yourself and saw it worked. I don't think that doctors have taken all the pills that they prescribe.
Wow, I hope not.
So how can they
know how they react to
That's
you?
right.
And every person is different. So every pill that they take, whether it's a combination of them or not, is going to be either good or bad for a particular person. But these people who just think that they're going to take a pill and everything is going to be fine aren't looking ahead.
That's not true.
Well, and then the side effects. I mean, if you take this, then I'm going to have to give you this pill to counteract the side effects of this. And let food be thy medicine that was the original Hippocratic oath. That is not true anymore. And Dr. Andrew Weil really has spent a greater part of his life trying to get nutrition back in med schools. But Big Pharma that has a lot of money. Yeah. And farmers don't.
Well, I have to admit, a few people think I'm a little bit cuckoo when I mention a homeopathic chiropractor and tell them what I've eliminated and the itchies went away. They kind of look at me like, ooh, is she in outer space or what?
Yeah.
And that's sad. It's sad.
If it's all in my mind, that's okay. It worked.
Right.
I don't care.
But it's all in your mind and not in your nose.
That's right. Or throat. or itching.
Or eye.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and she does muscle testing, which a lot of people. Do you know what that is?
Well, she might have done a little bit of that on
Did she
me.
ask you to push?
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of people think that that's woo-woo stuff.
I know, but it's becoming so popular.
It is. It's almost mainstream. It's on the verge of being mainstream now.
My son goes through the store, and if he picks something up, he'll check his fingers.
Hip, hip, hooray for
mean?
him. There's many ways you can do it. How does he test?
This.
Yeah. So if you can pull it apart, that means it weakens you.
But you pick up a product in the store and what?
You pick up a product in the store and do the little thing like this, and you'll see whether or not you're strong with that product.
But you put the product
so you link
in your basket.
Make sure you
or something?
talk into your microphones.
No.
So are you putting the product in your basket and then doing the whole finger thing?
No, you're putting it in your hand.
How do you do this with that in your hand?
Well,
You can hold it up against you.
Okay. I was trying to visualize that.
So you could take it like this wine will make me really strong, I know. And then you make a, like you're going okay, but you do it with your middle finger and you pull. See, I'm very strong with this wine.
Okay.
But I bet if I did it with egg, I'd be weak.
yeah.
Well, maybe that's what, I'm sure that's what Dr. Julia did then.
And
for me.
another thing you can do to test yourself is to hold whatever it is close to you and close your eyes. And if you feel yourself go backwards, that means it's not good for you. If you feel yourself go forward, that means it is.
That's
but Dr.
interesting.
Julia does it to where she says something and then pushes. She's been doing it for a long time, so she's very, very good at it.
She was, right on. She was right on. Amazing. It was just amazing.
So see all these things, and that's, that she's very passionate about being homeopathic, and she's very, very good at it. And